Unfortunately, benevolence and being too polite and friendly can prevent you from achieving your goals and often lead to burnout. In any comedy, there is always a character who is kind but who no one appreciates, like Miranda in The Devil Wears Prada or the character in The Lion King who is even more annoying than Scar. When you see the life story of such a person, you realize that sometimes being kind can be a direct cause of problems. From childhood, we are taught to be polite and nice. At the age of 3, when we don't yet understand that it's rude to take other people's toys, our parents tell us to behave ourselves. But 20 years later, we realize that this approach isn't always the best. Have you ever done something you didn't really want to do, just to avoid disappointing someone or to keep other people happy? That is where the problem starts. What are the problems of excessive kindness? It is worth saying right away that kindness is a wonderful quality. It has a huge number of advantages, but there is another side. For example, research shows that more compliant men earn much less. The situation is different for women. No matter how nice and compliant they are, their salary is about 14% less than that of their male colleagues. In addition, excessive kindness can lead to burnout and significantly reduce productivity. But don't worry, you won't have to give up kindness altogether. You just need to learn how to control it and figure out how it affects your life. How to find a balance between kindness and your desires. Work on leadership skills. You probably know a person who works hard on his career, but he is still never considered as a candidate for a higher position. His door is always open to others. He is used to helping and giving a shoulder, even when he is very busy. It would seem that these are excellent qualities. If it weren't for the flip side of the coin, such a person is not perceived as persistent. He seems content and happy in his place, which is why he is so rarely offered to move to another department or become a leader. This implies the first part of the advice: to develop leadership skills. Think about who you think is really cool and what makes this person so cool. Perhaps he is active, purposeful, or incredibly strong in spirit. Observe his manners, communication, and work style, and try to bring his techniques into your life. Such a strategy may seem like dumb copying, but remember that this is just a plan for internal use, which you don't have to tell anyone about. The second part is to determine who is living the life you have always wanted, and how these people have achieved everything. Adapt routines and habits for yourself that will bring you closer to your goal. Gradually, you will become much more persistent and confident in yourself. Practice expressing your opinion. Many people believe that it is impossible to get everything you want in life. This thought pushes us to accept less with humility, because nothing can be changed anyway. Another obstacle in our way is the desire to be kind to everyone. We do not express our opinion or forget about it altogether in order to keep the peace at work or at home. However, if you are worried about your excessive benevolence, which does not allow you to get what you want, you do not need to go to the other extreme and start kicking puppies, being rude to others, and tripping everyone up. Instead, you need to do one or more of the following steps to become a priority for yourself. Don't be afraid to declare your desires. To mark personal boundaries. Learn to say no. Plan everything you want to achieve and go for it. If you find it difficult to stand out and express your opinion, look at the problem from a different angle. Ask yourself, if I don't speak out now, which state of affairs will I agree with? Analyze what and how your kindness hinders you. Perhaps you are the only one dragging out life in the family, and the rest treat you like a servant. Or at work, all the tasks are always pushed off on you. Find ways to counter this. For example, make a schedule for doing household chores or discuss the workload with the boss. If you want to learn how to say no, work with your communication style and come up with formulations that will make it easier for you to refuse others. Step by step, you will be able to develop this important skill. Remember that sometimes each of us has to make unpopular decisions. No one enjoys it, but it's necessary. Stop following the ideal. Do you know at least one person in whose life everything is perfect? Perfect appearance, perfect home, perfect job, perfect relationship. The truth is simple: no one's life is perfect. It is important to remember that we are all the same. Everyone has a heart and a brain. We all need food and water and go to the toilet. Try to focus on the similarities with others, not on the differences. This will remind you that the ideal is just an impracticable concept that does not have to be followed at all. People who try their best to seem perfect have their own difficulties. Most often they say the phrases, "I can't let others see this," or "I'll never leave the house like this." The main problem of such perfectionists is their unwillingness to accept reality. High standards and the desire to meet other people's requirements exhaust them physically and emotionally. This often happens, for example, with young parents. They try to take care of everyone around them, but they themselves suffer from a lack of attention. They don't have time to fulfill their desires, and besides, they constantly feel tired. If you find yourself in a similar situation, draw clear boundaries between kindness towards others and caring for yourself and analyze the negative attitudes that your brain generates. Ask yourself, if I declare my desires now, will I be selfish or just take care of myself? Reconsider the way you talk to yourself and eliminate from your vocabulary all the words that prevent you from defending your interests and moving forward. And don't forget about brain chemistry, which will help you become happier and enjoy life more. And in order to learn to respect yourself and be kind to yourself first of all, you need to learn not to please others, but to be yourself. Here are 5 simple steps that will get you there. Turn on healthy selfishness and don't try to raise your self-esteem at the expense of someone else's approval. Sometimes we do things we don't want to do, just to avoid upsetting others. Some have mastered the art of pleasing so masterfully that they themselves no longer understand why they feel discomfort. After all, they stopped paying attention to their own needs a long time ago. The reason for this behavior is simple. We all want to be liked, expect approval, love and care. But the root of the problem is low self-esteem. It is she who encourages us to perform energy-consuming, uncharacteristic actions, giving up our own comfort in favor of the convenience of other people. These 5 steps will help you come to your senses. 1. Allow yourself to be yourself. If you are invited to a football match, and you hate sports, but agree, because it can strengthen your friendship or romantic connection, you are going against yourself. Be honest with yourself and with the invitee. Admit first of all to yourself that you don't like this idea. Pretending and wanting to make things pleasant will turn against you sooner or later. It's okay to be yourself. There are no perfect people, and you are no exception, but your flaws make you unique. Stay true to your thoughts and emotions. Live your life. 2. Stop evaluating yourself through the prism of public opinion. Almost everyone knows the fear of public speaking. Most people feel insecure when they go on stage, as they care more about what the audience thinks of them than about the message they want to convey. In search of approval from others, we turn into their hostages. But we cannot control their feelings, thoughts and actions, but we are fully responsible for ours. Do what you can and how you can, improving every day. Love and approve of yourself. You don't need others for this. You can't please everyone, no matter how much effort you put in. Other people's opinion of you is nothing more than their perception filtered through their own expectations and prejudices. You are beautiful and worthy of happiness, not because others think so, but because one day you decided to believe it. 3. Establish adequate boundaries with the outside world. One of the most difficult things on the path to inner independence is the ability to say no to something you really don't want to do without feeling selfish, guilty, or overly concerned about the other person's reaction. Realize that you are saying no to a task or an offer, not to a person rejecting it. In fact, you can't disappoint anyone. People are disappointed in their own expectations about you, and this is their area of responsibility, not yours. When you agree or reject a request that makes you uncomfortable, you form the attitude of others towards yourself, and you decide for yourself whether to let anyone use you, and whether to take on the responsibility of entertaining people and making them happy. Whenever you give time to others, you give them a part of your life. So, spend your precious time with people who support you and accept you for who you are. Setting boundaries in a relationship may seem like a manifestation of selfishness. In fact, it is a form of self-respect and self-care. 4. Learn to speak confidently. Sometimes it's hard to say no just because you don't know how to express yourself clearly and confidently, and you're afraid that it might sound aggressive or impolite. Learn to refuse without offending anyone. Here are some simple formulations to start with. Right now, this week, this month I can't do this. I have too many other things to do right now. Thanks for the invitation, but I can't at this time. I won't be able to go with you, but then be sure to tell me how it went. Maybe another time. I will be glad to receive an invitation next week. It sounds great, but no thanks. 5. Become your best friend. Stop expecting other people to make you happy and guess your needs and desires. Make yourself a priority. Do what makes you happy. Loving yourself as a person is not selfishness, but a necessity. Get rid of negative evaluative statements about yourself. I'm stupid, I'm too fat, I ruin everything. Treat yourself with dignity and respect. Then external praise will become an organic bonus, not a life goal. Just realize that the only person who is always present in your life, day and night, year after year, is yourself. And when you are in a harmonious relationship with yourself, you don't need other people to fill the holes in your self-esteem. You can spend your whole life worrying about other people's opinions, or you can become smarter and save yourself a lot of nerves. Take care of yourself and love yourself no matter what.